Hello, one and all. Brandon Carey is back with another episode of Master Duel. Currently, in Master Duel, the Fusion Festival is underway. And although we're not going to play the event itself, in the spirit of the event, I have actually started playing a new archetype that I have not played before. I wasn't around back when I played Yu-Gi-Oh in the day. Neither was Tri-Brigade, but that was the one that was interesting to me because it was the cheapest one to build. And now that I've kind of established some more resources, I decided to build a different archetype, and this time we are playing as Despia. And if you're unfamiliar with the archetype, basically the Despians are a group of evil theater kids. And this is an archetype that is kind of based around. Let me shrink my webcam actually just a little bit. There. The Despian archetype is basically very highly dependent upon fusions. So it tends to run a lot of fusion support cards. We start with 3 Maxi and 3 Ash Blossom. Those are kind of a card like any deck that you play a Master Duel will probably run these. Maybe not 3 of, but we are running 3 of in this one. But at least 2. We also have Psi Frame Gear Gamma, which also negates monster effects from the hand and summons out Psi Frame Driver at the same time when he does. But more important though, it is a light attribute card, and a lot of our fusions require either a light or a dark to go into. So having that there, even if we don't use it for its hand trap effect, is still pretty good, as is Nibiru, which is why he is here as well. And this Kaiju is also a light monster. As we tend to have majority dark, having as much support in the light attribute as we can tends to help. We are also running the DPE package. For those of you who aren't familiar with Master Duel, which is, I assume, most of you, since I got into Yu-Gi-Oh really recently, and I know the rest of you who have not gotten into it at all. The DPE package is this guy, Destroyer Pheonix Enforcer, which is basically a destruction effect that can proc reliably every turn while protecting himself from similar destruction effects, because when he is destroyed by a card effect, he can reanimate himself the next turn. And so we run Fusion Destiny to summon him from the deck with Dasher and Celeste, who are our 2 Destiny support cards. And Dasher has the ability to also summon a monster that we draw. And Celeste, if our hand runs empty, we can use it to draw 2 cards when it's in the graveyard. So it's just some little extra support that we're provided with the DP package. And we can always, if we have 2 effect monsters on board, use Verity Anaconda to make it. It's a card. This is a package you'll see in a lot of competitive Yu-Gi-Oh decks these days, from my understanding. A lot of the top decks I was looking at in the Master Duel meta had this exact package of two Destiny Fusion, 1 Dasher, 1 Celeste, and DP in the extra deck with Verity Anaconda backing up to make it easier to summon. And the actual Despia package is Aluber, which can fetch one of our branded cards. Tragedy, which, when it's used as fusion material or destroyed by a card effect, can fetch one of our Despian monsters like Aluber. Dramaturge, which is a 3,000 attack beater, that when we fuse it, we get to summon it, no matter if it was banished or sent to the graveyard as well as the fusion. Ad libitum also does the same thing, where if it's used as fusion material, we can summon some other Despia monster or a fusion monster from our graveyard to the field immediately after the fusion is complete. Fallen of Albaz is another support card that we can use to also fuse off our our opponent's monsters into itself to create our fusion. There's a lot of monsters here that require Fallen of Albaz as a fusion material, and like Albion, Trinity Cloud. I think those are the only two. So it's a minor package, but it's still valuable because it gets around protection effects because you're not actually targeting the monster. You're sending the graveyard as fusion material, which can get around nearly any sort of protection that the creature might have. Also, Super Polymerization is here because it is something that players can't respond to. And it allows you to use your opponent's monsters as fusion material to fuse your own monsters, which ends up mattering way more than you think it would. Those are basically. We have also the support of branded opening to kind of search for our Despian monsters, and branded in red to recycle some of the ones that were sent to the graveyard through fusion or through destruct or just killed in battle. You also have for our fusion monsters, the big ones we are looking for are Kirtiaris, which will lower our opponent's monster attack to 0 so we can swing in and finish the game. And the one that I spend a lot of time getting to is Masquerade. Masquerade has the ability where whenever your opponent activates an ability, they take 600 points of damage. And considering how many activations opponents have to do nearly anything in Yu-Gi-Oh! These days, that can shut down entire strategies. Because there's so many activations in the chain that they just can't do it. They just can't do it without dressing Masquerade first. And if you have two of them on board, that's 1,200 per activation. That is a lot of life points they're paying. That is since branded opening, when it's in the graveyard, can protect one of them from destruction effects each turn by banishing itself. And I'm sure I'm not explaining the deck entirely, but that's kind of the big gist. Is we're using a fusion heavy strategy. So we'll see how we do in a couple of games, and if we don't do well in the games we played today, I have a couple of replays I can play at the end of the stream to kind of show how the deck can function. And a losing streak before, so if we lose this, we'll go down a rank, which is not the best thing in the world, but also it's ranked Yu-Gi-Oh! Whatever. Not a bad hand, but not a good one either. No hand traps, so if they play something that we can't interrupt, if they have some negates on board at the end of this turn, we might be in trouble. Is this a Blue Eyes deck? I've only seen Lord of Heavenly Prison played in Blue Eyes decks. Revealed. Set card seal cannot be destroyed by card effects. If the set is activated, you can summon this card from your hand. Okay. So it's protecting his face downs. We'll send Brand Open to the graveyard so we can protect a fusion. Oh, he didn't counter it. I'll probably Ash Blossom this. I would if I was in the position. No? Okay. We'll get our DPE, I suppose. Well, we can destroy those face downs anyway. But if he does respond to DPE, we can use its ability to protect it, at the very least. I think that's all we can do this turn, so we'll pass. He's got a face down, he's going to play it. That's fine. Secret Blast. Okay, I allow it. Oh, this is a burn deck, isn't it? Oh, you cheeky bastard. Just gonna protect your face downs? Oh, I should have attacked. I'm an idiot. I probably still can. I'm gonna attack. Well, fuck you. I'm gonna break that thing. Are you fucking for real? That's rude. Yeah, I want to protect it from that and not take the damage. Because that I would be too low in life points if I didn't protect my DPE from that. Cool, play it, whatever. Gravedigger's Trap Hole. What does Gravedigger's Trap Hole do? I hope they play another card. I don't want to fuse away my DPE. I think I don't have a choice. Okay. The opponent's card effect. Okay. Yes. This will do. We'll fuse Masquerade using the Dramaturge. And with Ad Libitum, we can reclaim our DPE. And then activate Dramaturge to replay it. There's a lot of burn decks in ranked for some reason. And that will deal with that. And we can clean up. Yeah, that was the right call. And that's how Branded works. That super polymerization really did kind of pull through for us. Because it removed the threat and let us pressure them a little further. Then again, burn decks are just generally kind of bad. They do win every now and then. But they don't tend to win easily. Let's see what our hand is. Ooh, this is more of a going second hand, but I can accept this. Let's see if we Foolish Burial, if they Ash Blossom this. They don't have Ash Blossom, so we will get to Despian Tragedy and activate it. And get Aluber, the Boober of Doober. And now we will Fusion Destiny. And get DPE out. Who is really the MPP of not just this deck, but basically all of ranked Yu-Gi-Oh! At the moment. Even outside of Master Duel, it is a card that is just ridiculously powerful. I'm actually going to get Branded in red. We're going to set 2 and pass. We do have Ash Blossom in our hand, and Called by the Grave we can use if they have a graveyard effect on their turn. Yeah, DPE. Oh, speaking of gross, Eldritch. Thankfully... we're going to Call by the Grave that Eldritch and really piss him off. Despia tends to do really well against Eldritch specifically, which is another thing I kind of like about the deck. Because Eldritch has to commit a lot to just getting rid of Despia cards. More than they would ever want to, realistically. Is this not Despia? We're gonna Ash Blossom this. I want them to keep a low hand size. Or, I'm sorry, is this not Eldritch? Probably should be using this Branded in red to make Masquerade and make them pay for some of this shit, but... what does that do? Gains 5 attack until end of turn. You have control... you can summon this card from your graveyard, but eventually leaves the battlefield. Yeah, we'll Branded in red here, I guess. We're gonna put Masquerade out and make them pay for some of this shit. Masquerade, Jester, and Tragedy. And Masquerade will make them pay life points whenever they activate cards from here on out. Then we're gonna use Tragedy. I think Tragedy was for a monster, so we will get another... let's get another Luber, because we could probably use some more extension at this point. I don't know what they do from here. I've never played against a deck before in my life. I don't even know what it's doing. I thought it was an Eldritch deck, but I was apparently extremely wrong. Now, is that a tuner? Oh, could be a link. Probably let this through, and if they Verite, they Verite. Oh, they could Verite from this. Oh, that fucking sucks. I shouldn't have let that through. That's not what I expected. It's not a quick effect. So if I DPE this, are they fucked? I hope they're fucked. Oh, you son of a bitch! That's smart! Oh, that's smart, but you are down to a single card in hand. Oh, the good that'll fucking do me. That's fine. Well, we are still in a commanding position at this point. Can Brandon Red retrieve? No, Brandon... Oh, let's get Brandon opening out so we can at least get rid of our Fusion Destiny. Because we don't need a second copy. Let's special summon the Dramaturge. It is in defense mode, which is not ideal, but... we were at a point where they had to commit a lot of life points just to do anything. With... Yeah, with Masquerade in the field, they have 4 activations of cards. Total. To climb their way out of this. And that is not an easy task. So let's see if this actually... If they actually, like, do it. I don't know if they can. That's 1 activation. Just gonna get rid of Dramaturge. Alright. There you go. That's 2 activations. We'll negate it, because we can. I'll be an asshole. I got 2 activations left. Why'd they run Eldritch? That's their last activation of a card effect. They're out. They can't do any... They can no longer activate card effects. They're done. The most they can do is get rid of a Luber. I guess they're... Okay, they just realized they lost. Okay. The sad truth is that, like, to do at all well in ranked in Master Duel, you kind of need the 3 copies of Max C, the 3 copies of Ash Blossom, the DPE package. It's something that I do, frankly, I find kind of annoying about Master Duel. And that makes me more an issue with Yu-Gi-Oh! As a whole, unless, like, Master Duel specifically. But it feels like there's, like, a kit of cards you must be running in your deck. And if you're not running them, you're a rube. If they Ash Blossom this. Effect Veiler. Okay. Not Ash Blossom. That's fine. We'll set this brand in red then. So if Luber dies in battle, we can fuse it into Masquerade. Oh, are you kidding? Are we playing the fucking Numeron deck now? I'm tempted to just concede, because this deck is annoying. You still won't kill me this turn. Fuck off. I surrender. I don't want to play this deck. This deck's annoying to play against. I feel nothing about giving them the win. I've never enjoyed playing as Numeron. Oh. This is already going second hand. I should probably go second more often. Okay, they don't have an Ash Blossom. Guess you have the badass music. I don't know if I actually use... We could get Masquerade out and force them to make some early game life point loss. Yeah, I guess we can do that. Yeah, I think I am realizing slowly but surely that I am much happier going second than going first. I just enjoy interacting more. If they got a Floodgate, you're right. If they got a Floodgate, though, that game is just miserable in general. Even if they go first, even if they go second. I find like Floodgates are kind of miserable to play against, but this is the nature of the game. Nothing you really do about it. Okay, we're playing a Zexal deck. Whew, I look forward to fusing some shit when we're done, when they're done here. We have removal for this shit. So I'm actually not too unhappy about this. As long as I don't die in a single attack, we should be fine. If it takes more than one attack, we are good. Yeah, give them about 15 minutes. Although, thankfully, they do have to pay 600 life points for every one of these little steps they take. Which should burn them down quite a bit. Yeah. I'm really glad I chose Masquerade. Watching these life points go down this quickly, I'm really fucking glad I did that. They deserve every little piece of pain they get. I regret nothing. I regret nothing and less. I will happily make them pay for each one of these fucking steps. Happily. Jesus Christ. About time. So they're gonna negate the effect finally. Ugh. They were just about to die to their own fucking bullshit. Fortunately, if they play enough monsters, we might still be fine. Actually, as long as we don't dodge the initial Masquerade destruction and get to reanimate Aluber, we're in the clear. No. We just need to survive the first attack, the one that kills Masquerade, and we should be fine. Because when Super Polymerization gets played, they cannot respond to it, no matter what they do. This depends entirely upon what they do at this point. Because if I get another turn, I win. If I'm able to get another turn, I win the game. The entire game. Don't like this shit. I see a light and a dark on their board. And if I get an Aluber, that will be a Despia monster. That's all I can hope for. I don't have to survive every attack. Just the first one. And then next turn I can fall into Valbaz to do some fusion here there as well. Oh, they wanted to burn themselves down. Holy shit, dude! I'm gonna laugh if they do this whole complicated bullshit and it ends up amounting to nothing. I don't have to survive every attack. Just the first one. Are you fucking done? I got a sandwich eat or something. I don't fucking know. You done flexing your balls? Oh my holy Christ. What? They negated their own attack? We're not going to survive one attack. That's incredible. Fuck off. Oh, that was miserable. Wow, that was miserable. I know what I should have done now. I should have just fused the starving Venom Dragon and just told him to go fuck off, but didn't occur to me. I made a mistake. I don't like this. I would much rather wait for what my opponent does than take any actions of my own right now. This is a going second hand. I should have done second. That is not great. Okay, I'm going to surrender because I don't want to play against Thunder Dragon. No, we will max C. God, Thunder Dragon's miserable though. I'm out. No, I'm actually out. I'm not playing Thunder Dragon. It's miserable. I don't care if I can win. I don't want to play. I've played against that deck enough to know it's kind of insufferable to play against. I'm going second. Good to know that no matter what changes, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is still Yu-Gi-Oh! Ew, this is crusty. If you can draw a Despian monster... Do I Ash this? Because they're going neutral. No, I don't Ash this. I wait. I don't Ash this. I wait. I let them. I see what happens. Not what I wanted. Well, let's force them to activate it. What was their face down? Okay, called. I don't want to use Dasher because that does take me out of DPE, but I can't just do nothing. Oh, you can get that back. That's fine. That's fine. They don't have a light in the graveyard, so they can't actually play that. Another Thunder Dragon deck? Oh! I think I hold on this. Because I think Thunder Dragon Fusion can infuse cards from the deck. So I want to wait for that to happen. This is a crusty hand. No, I still allow it. It's a lot of steps to go through, though, to get what they're looking for. Oh, this is one of the fusion. Oh, I fucked up. I don't know how to play against Thunder Dragon at all. Let's see if we can hold this combo now. Yeah, we're done. That's game over. I know these are not top tier decks. I know they're not even particularly powerful. I just don't like playing against them. Yes, yes, I'll lose a rank. Congratulations, go fuck yourself. Game, I know. We'll do one last duel, and win or lose, I'll show a couple of replays at the end of this to kind of talk about the like what this deck can do in the optimal circumstance. Okay. No plays. Well, that's a good draw. That's a good draw. we get to bury the tragedy. And that should be able to fetch me a Luber. A Luber will fetch me Despia. And with well, that I can't get the tragedy proc again. I really don't want to lose Nibiru, but that might actually be my best. Do I pitch Celeste? Yeah, I think I pitched Celeste. Fuck DPE. Yeah, I pitched Celeste. I don't need DPE right now. I need Masquerade. Actually, let's get a second Masquerade, because that will force them to pay 1,200 every turn. Can't attack directly. We will throw down this branded opening and pass. So they have 4 activations before they are it's game over for them, and I don't know, because there are decks that can work in that restriction. Yeah, we're gonna max see this. I don't have Ghost Blossom, but I will be able to get some card draw. Fusion Destiny. The DP will reduce the fee that they have to pay, but they can't kill both Masquerades. That's annoying, but not unsalvageable. Oh, you son of a bitch. I'll pitch the Dramaturge. And that can save 1 Masquerade. You didn't Ash Blossom that one, you're not going to Ash Blossom this one. We're going to get branded in red. And if they activate DPE to destroy Masquerade, I can protect it with branded fusion, and I might have to actually. They're going with, yeah, and I'm going to use branded opening to protect it. They're still under the fee. Yeah. They spent all that just to try to avoid having to pay the fee, and they couldn't do it. I would be able to get Ketieris out and win with that next turn. It is amazing how much people will have to do to dedicate to just getting rid of the DP or the Masquerade or the DPE, either one. So before we go, I'm going to actually show off a few replays that I have. This was actually a pretty good one against Eldritch, if memory serves. Yeah, we had a pretty decent opener, and they went first. Yeah, when you see someone play 3 cards face down, you almost know for a fact that they're Eldritch. Use Albion to put the opening in the grave. Use Burial. Imperial Order negates the Burial. And that ended up being a very important card this game. Imperial Order really set us back, but didn't end us completely. We Ash Blossom the elixir of the Elixir of Sanguine Sacrifice to avoid them summoning an Eldritch, because that can be a hassle. And they end up getting a face down off this. And remember, because of Imperial Order, they also are unable to play spell cards. So Fusion Destiny is a dead in hand because of the Imperial Order. They have the Hakero of the Golden Land, so they can now attack us for damage. We take it because we don't have a response. But they are also bleeding out because of their own Imperial Order at this point. We do draw Fallen, and I think we do use it at this point. To make Albion. And we were going to try to summon Masquerade, but they interrupted us. Oh wait, no, they didn't. You were still able to do Masquerade. Masquerade is a really crucial card to this deck's success. We're able to get Albion back out. And Tragedy was able to get us an Aluber so that we can keep going if we need to. Keystore kept their life points high, but they were still able to do some damage here. And now they can only have 3 activations of cards before they have to give in the goose. Less now, 2 activations. That's Eldritch. They got rid of Masquerade that way, which is fine. Because now they have so few cards. And they only have 1 more Imperial Order in them before they have to give in the goose and let us play spells. Though we can't play that branded opening, we still have it for our activation whenever Imperial Order does drop. It's worth it to get the fetch, because next turn we'll be able to play that branded in red. And they get the second Eldritch, which is scary, but also fine, honestly. We can no longer pay the Imperial Order, so now we are free to play spells. Thankfully, we can negate the summoning of that Eldritch with our Psy card, and that gives a defense against their Eldritches. And they get their third one in, and they do hit us, which does suck. But it's actually fine. Because now we can play our Brandon in red. And get Masquerade out. And whatever they said doesn't actually matter because they can't use it. Because we will have access to Masquerade, and they cannot pay the life points to activate effects at this point. Or cards. So when we Fusion Destiny, which is what we're going to do right now, and get DPE out, there is pretty much nothing they can do. And with the writing on the wall, we just attack, they can't activate anything in response, and they just die. And that is kind of how you can curtail an Eldritch deck with Despia. Masquerade, because modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Requires so many steps to do basically anything important, the 600 life points per activation of anything is such an irritant. It's such a crucial thing to play around. Because it makes you make some very hard decisions about what you can and can't do before you negate Masquerade. Because realistically, they will negate it at some point in the chain. It's just a matter of how much do they bleed before they do it. I think this is another good example. This is the deck. This is the game I'm thinking of what Despia can do. I don't remember what this match was against. Yeah, this was the hero match, which, seeing that 4,000 life points, it's exciting, but also kind of reminds you that in Yu-Gi-Oh! Life points basically don't matter. And seeing them play all these summons with when you have Nibiru in your hand is also, it's a very nice feeling. Because that's their third summon, and Nibiru can only be triggered once you've played once one has played 5 summons. That's the fourth. And there's DPE. They play one more summon, they're in Nibiru range, and they do. So now all we have to do is wait for the turn to end, and then we can Nibiru. So they can commit as much as they want to the board. And they forget to use DPE in response to Nibiru, which kind of weirded me out. This is less a Despia tutorial and more of a what you should or should not do against Nibiru. Because now that they've kind of screwed themselves like this. We're free to just take them out. Because we can use Starving Venom to get over this Nibiru token and crash in for game. They should not have gone for 5 summons. They should have been counting. I think this one was another one worth playing. And we'll play this last one before we head out for the day. This was actually during the Fusion Festival, so I'm playing a different variant that uses the Dark Lord engine as well. This isn't the one I was playing in the Duel, if memory serves. Yeah, we're playing using... No, this is the Dark Lord engine. So we kind of passed the first turn because we don't have any actual playables here. And it turns out they are also using Despia. This is a mirror match. And we are going to Called by the Grave this tragedy to keep them a little in check. And this guy kind of smokes the same crack that I'm smoking. Because if memory serves, he also goes for the Masquerade. Oh no. He went for the big girl. And he hits me pretty hard. We're actually in a good position despite what it looks like. And that is the draw that will turn the tide. Because now we can fuse to make our Masquerade. And he did get them all back. But since I did draw the Fallen of Albaz, we could just fuse them again and turn the tide completely. And that's game. Being able to use your polymerization in your deck is a very useful thing. As is Fallen of Albaz for the same reason, because it gets around really problematic boards by using your opponent's monsters as fusion material. And with that that benefit, you can get around protection effects and removal that you otherwise would not be able to. So that is kind of the Despia deck. It didn't do too badly considering some of the matches we went up against. It just kind of ranked Yu-Gi-Oh! At this point. Let's turn in these dailies. Get some gems. And that'll be it for the day. Remember, guys, I am Brandon Carey. Wear your mask, social distance, wash your hands. Get your vaccine, your booster shot. Black Lives Matter. Trans Lives Matter. Stop Asian hate. And all lives cannot matter until minority lives matter. Have a great evening, and I will see you next time on Sunday when we continue our journey of Ratchet & Clank going commando. Until then, take care, y'all. Bye!